Hello, and welcome to the very first session of our volunteer enrichment series. Um, we've got a lot to talk about this evening, and um, I can't see the text chat or the chat in the text. So welcome again to the volunteer enrichment series. Um, my name again is Joanne Savicki. I'm our troop support specialist for um, the East Central area with the Spirit of Nebraska. And joining me as our chat room monitor this evening is Pam Suckup from our Northeast area troop support specialist. If you have any questions, you can also email me at jsavicki@girlscoutsnebraska.org. After the call, I'll answer any of those questions as well. But Pam is in our chat room this evening, and she will be monitoring the chat and answering any questions as we go along. I apologize now in advance for all the ums that I will mention this evening. But I'll have to watch that. Oh, just some housekeeping tips. I'll pause after each segment for the questions in the chat. Well, no, I won't pause after that because I can't see the chat. But Pam will be in the chat room to answer any questions as we go along throughout the evening. So just to begin, this evening's session is all about resuming in-person troop and group meetings. If you go to our council website at Girl Scouts Spirit of Nebraska or girlscoutsnebraska.org, you'll actually click on the link that Pam's going to provide in the chat room. So the whole, as you scroll down through the link, you'll see the part where it says resuming in-person troop and group meetings. We have several pieces of information to share with you during that time that you're watching or that you're scrolling down. And so some things to think about are troop meeting space. When you're thinking about bringing the troop back together, you'll want to talk about to your co-leaders and your parents about the meeting place, whether it'll be in an outside setting or if your school will allow the troops back into the school. Also, places of worship are also other options as well. For now, while we have good weather, it is advisable to meet at a local park and celebrate all the different activities that you can while we still have good weather. Next, we'll talk about troop meeting size. And so things to think about when you have group troops and you have more than one level, you might meet with individual levels at a time if you have more than 50 girls in your troop or even more than 25 girls in your troop. So those are some things to consider about troop meeting size. We also have activities, supplies, and snacks to think about. And so while you're thinking about those, food really should not be shared with non-household people. And so even Little Debbie snacks that are individually wrapped, girls have to take off their face coverings to eat those. And so you might avoid food during your troop or group meetings during this time. Transportation. If you're meeting at different places or taking a field trip, Some things to think about are just having each girl's parents take them to the location, so that you're not having girls be in a vehicle that's not their own household. As we're coming up to the um, weather where it might not be advisable to have meetings outside, you might consider virtual meetings. We do have the council does have some Zoom accounts that you can purchase for the year, and you can contact member support um, to actually explore that option and obtaining a Zoom account for the troop. Next, just with hygiene and COVID-19 risk mitigation, there's just some information in there about, um, making sure that people wash their hands, you're maintaining a 6 feet social distance, um, and just some things to read through and just familiarize yourself with that information. Um, Face coverings. Girl Scout Spirit in Nebraska does encourage, actually, no, it does have girls wear face coverings during all Girl Scout activities, whether it's inside or outside, um, as well as maintaining the 6 feet social distance. So whether you're inside a building or outside in the outside weather, we still are asking girls and adults, anyone that's at the meeting or field trip, to wear those face coverings. Personal contact, there's just a section that just talks about personal contact and, again, hygiene and sanitizing hands and surfaces, and information there. There's a section on first aid supplies and things that you might need to have in your first aid kit that you didn't have before, like sanitizer, face masks if a girl forgot hers, um, and it's just something to familiarize yourself and update your first aid kit with that information. The council, while I well, we have not had first aid CPR training promoted in the fall. We hope to get back with that in the spring. Um, but I would definitely encourage you to contact the American Red Cross if you haven't had your training yet, or if you need an update, that they can provide online courses to take as well. So if you have any questions about first aid or CPR training, you can also contact member support, who can also give you some ideas and things to consider for finding training for that. So we also have a section on disinfectants and disinfecting. And so just making sure that all those surfaces of where your troop meeting is at um, has been kept clean, and even to clean afterwards after you leave, because in Girl Scouts we always clean our own place after we're all done with it. So again, before you meet with your troop in an in-person setting, there is a short online form that we would have you complete. It's very, very simple. It just has your name and troop number and some information after that, but it's a very short online form that we would just have you complete for us for the Spirit of Nebraska. So recently we did add some information also, um, and that was information on reporting and communicating a positive um, COVID-19 test. And so in this section, there is just information on what to do when you have a girl or an adult that's tested positive and they were around the troop. And so we just ask that you definitely read through that information and become comfortable with that information. So there's different drop down boxes for that. And so one of them is returning to the Girl Scout programming after a COVID-19 illness or diagnosis. And so this gives you some steps to kind of follow and to resume troop meetings. Another drop-down box is just um, uh, a positive COVID-19 test with symptoms. Another one is a positive COVID-19 test without symptoms, which is referred to as asymptomatic. And then another drop-down box is no COVID test with symptoms. And so again, I'm sorry I can't see the questions in the chat, but Pam is definitely sharing some of the links that I provided. And please, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to your troop support specialist here at the Spirit of Nebraska. Okay, so next, and I kind of went through that really fast, and so, but next on our list this evening is really talking about Juliet Lowe's birthday. And so there are definitely lots of things to do with Juliet Lowe and her birthday. It's always celebrated in October. Her birthday was on Halloween. And so anytime in the month of October or even early November, you can always plan something that just shares information about Juliet Lowe. You might actually read a chapter in a book that's about Juliet Lowe, just to share with the girls information about Juliet Lowe and her extraordinary life. You can also find information in A Lady from Savannah, and that's one of the books of Julia Lowe as well. So Julia Lowe definitely loved life in general. I mean, not in general, just life all over. She loved sports. She loved to be outdoors. She loved skits. And so those are all activities that you can incorporate into even a short half-hour meeting about Julia Lowe. Usually I would say, and end with a cupcake, but no food. No food. You don't want to do food. This year anyway. And so here are some Juliet Lowe birthday ideas that you can utilize with your troop. So one of the ideas is learning about swaps, and we call that special whatchamacallits affectionately pinned somewhere. And so it's usually with a safety pin that it's attached. Oops. With a little cardboard piece or a little construction paper piece in any different kind of shape that has a little swap on it. And this one is called a friendship knot. And so a friendship knot is used with two pieces of ribbon. This one happens to be silver and gold because of making friends with the silver and gold. And so there is a link in the chat that you can use for finding how to do a friendship, how to make a friendship knot swap. So some other ideas that you can utilize for Juliet Lowe's birthday is hosting a birthday party supply drive for a pantry. And the girls can ask their friends. They can each donate items for like 5 birthday party kits. And those are things like, a birthday cake mix, frosting, paper plates, silverware, um, birthday party horns and tablecloths. And so making a birthday party kit and donating that to a pantry or the Open Door Mission or um, your local food pantry is kind of a nice way to pass along some community service, which Julia Lowe loved community service. And so um, creating your own special troop tradition might be having a community service project in October to honor Juliet Lowe for her birthday. You can even plan a dress-up party. Juliet Lowe lived in an era where they drank tea in the high afternoons, and so And so you might have a tea party in honor of Julia Lowe, and have the girls dress up. Um, and so if you actually even just Google Julia Lowe birthday party ideas, you will find a lot of ideas on things to consider. And actually, the dress up party or tea party is one of those in the Google searches. You can also Google swaps. If you type in Girl Scout swaps, which is just SWAPS, you'll find a million swap ideas. And our friend, well, not our friend, but my friend Pinterest, if you type in swaps there, you'll find more than a million swap ideas on what to do with girls, and and how to make them, and things like that. Besides Pinterest, you can also find great ideas at makingfriends.com, which also is the link that for the friendship knot directions on how to make those. So, in my years as a Girl Scout, so I have a little box that I keep swaps in, and so I just wanted to share a few that you can get really intricate in making those swaps. But there's even just little things with beads. Um, this one's called My Pet Cloud, and it's little. It's got a little saying with a cotton ball and some eyes. Whoops. Oh, sorry. Some eyes. And so, starting a tradition like that with the girls so that they can keep their swaps either pinned on their vests or sash or in their own little box. Again, I forgot to feature the gift sack that signified Julie Lowe's birthday party. But again, when you donate the birthday cake or the birthday party supply, you can have the girls even decorate their own bags and creating their own donation bag for the pantry. So a few other ideas for the actual meeting while you're talking about Juliet Lowe is really, I singing some songs with them. And YouTube is great for finding songs and how to sing them and how to teach them with girls. Also, telling stories. There are several different stories that you can find online that you can read to the girls. But Juliet Lowe also loves skits and plays, and so there are also a few, and this is maybe more Daisy and Brownie related, but there are a few skits and plays that the girls could do, even as a performance for the parents at the end of the evening or afternoon or morning, whenever you're having your meeting. You can also do a scavenger hunt and have the girls find things around the room or outside in a park for different activities. You can even have stations set up where each station is its own activity. And just as we had talked about, that Juliet Lowe really loved life, all life. And so just having a station on nature, having a station on learning on my or learning the Girl Scout promise in sign language. Another station having the girls watch the Golden Eaglet movie, which you can find on YouTube as well. And the Golden Eaglet is a movie that was created in I think the early 1920s. It might be even be the late well no the early 1920s. And it was it's just a fantastic video. It's a silent video that has the music playing, and features Margaret, and Margaret as she goes through and becomes a Girl Scout. And so it's really very cool. You need to watch it if you haven't already or seen it. You can also have a trivia quiz on Juliet Lowe. And so there are lots of ideas that you can explore for having an activity for Juliet Lowe's birthday. And I hope that I've helped this evening with some information to help you. Um, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your troop support specialist. We are here to help. And so have a great evening. And thanks for joining us this evening.